together are reinventing themselves by adopting omni-channel in the new normal. And for the discussion, moderator will be Mr. Vibhor Jain, Managing Director, North Kashmir and Wakefield, India. Let us welcome him with a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, great. I think we can start because we need to be on time. So great, thanks everyone. And I think we have a huge and interesting panel. And as we just heard, the whole idea is the future of retail. So I think I'll just start with a background and a context setting and I'll open the panel. As a background, I think first thing which we all are talking about these days or maybe post-COVID is that COVID has touched every sphere of our life, and retail as a sector is something which is also not untouched by it. What happened almost 8 years, 9 years back is e-commerce got into the retail sector, where more of it was termed as phygital, which is physical plus the digital. Post-COVID, what we saw is the adoption of digitization and the usage of the e-commerce platform more, and we saw that a lot of retail got started shifting or more adoption of the retail through the digitization platform. And I feel in when, all across during the COVID times, we all thought that physical stores are burst or they will not work anymore. Now people will not shop, everything is going digital. However, what we are seeing now is that both are working. So that is what is called omni-channel, retail, physical, and digital. That is what I want to explore today. So the first question, Rajesh, if I can start with you, as I said that the adoption has gone up for the retail shopping through the e-commerce apps, multi modes of platforms. How do you think consumers they shop? They use the apps and the e-commerce platform to review the products online, then pick up these from the stores, or they. The question comes back that the experience cannot be bought online, right? Or they would like to trust, or they would like to see the discounts online, then go to physical stores. They are becoming more smarter with the e-commerce. So what do you think the change in pattern is in physical stores because of the digitization?
Thank you, Vibhor. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So if we talk about physical retail, what is happening there post-COVID and what is happening in the e-com or omni-channel perspective. So just to give you a little perspective, first of all, I think all the retailers know that for retail, customer is the god. And we have to ensure that the customer delight is there. Now the customer is becoming smarter. Even before the customer enters a physical door, or even if they buy online, before they're buying, they already know what kind of products they want to buy, what kind of a style, what size. That's all available with the help of internet, and that's why the customer has become much, much smarter as compared to, let's say, about 5 years ago, when perhaps customer wanted to do it but couldn't do it because there was no availability of such a lot of information online. Now, if we look at two things that have changed due to COVID, and I'm talking about mainly from the technology perspective, digitization perspective. One is e-commerce, and the second is omni-channel. E-commerce, till about 3 or 4 years ago, we all were talking about digital commerce having entered India, and it was a big major issue initially, but 3-4 years ago, we all accepted that this is likely to coexist, both the channels of distribution, whether online or offline, they will coexist for a very long time in a country like India. However, still, the share of e-commerce or online sale in most retailers' portfolio was limited to between 5 and 10%. It was growing very fast, but still the contribution in the total sale was sub 10% only. However, during COVID, it got a very big flip because all the offline stores were shut. Customers started buying online. Suddenly, the share of online buying for that particular year, even if I see 2021, where most part of the year, physical stores remained shut. But when they opened, the customers started coming back to the physical stores. And the total contribution of the online sale went up to as high as 30 or even 40% in several cases. But what we saw is the moment lockdown was lifted after the second wave, a lot of customers started coming back to the physical stores. And there were reasons for that. They wanted the experience. They wanted the touch and feel. They wanted the environment. A mall provides such a great environment that they can have a mini vacations of 3 to 4 hours in that mall. And when you enter the shop, you get the customer experience, you get customer service, you get visual merchandising, you get real people to talk to. And hence the contribution of online sales in terms of absolute sales, honestly speaking, the sale in absolute terms perhaps has not come down post-COVID in terms of online sales. But because the physical stores also started giving good sales, the contribution of online sales has started coming down again. Now I think in case of several retailers, including us, the contribution of online sale is settling somewhere between 15 and 20%. So this is a major change that from 5 to 10%, it has now, within a period of 2 years or so, it has traveled to 15 to 20%. And I am of the view that in the next 5 years or so, the contribution of online channel will go up to at least about 40%, and that's what most retailers are aiming for. Okay. Now, the second part is omni-channel. Omni-channel, I would like to say that this can be bucketed in two things. One is, if you want to buy a commodity, the same commodity that you want to buy online, that gets delivered to your home after a day or two. Similarly, in case of omni-channel, what we have experienced that in case of commodity, if you go to a shop, you know that what product you want to buy, but that product is not available. The shopkeeper or the retailer tells you that this will get delivered to your home in a day or two, or maybe the same day in a few hours' time. That's just fine with the customers. However, if you come to a category, fashion, premium fashion category like ours, what we have experienced, that the customers, either they buy online, if they can wait, if they're okay to wait and get the product, and if they don't like, they can return it later. However, if they're coming to physical stores, that means they want that experience. They want to try out the product on themselves. They want to see how it fits on them. If it's a bag, how it looks on their body. And if they like that, they want to immediately own it. They don't want to wait for a day. Hence, for a premium fashion brand like ours, I think omni-channel contribution is very small as we speak today. However, here also I feel, because of the COVID and because of all the experiences that the customers are having, this omni-channel contribution, even for a category like ours, is likely to grow in future.
So thanks, Rajesh. I think you brought a very important point that the digitization in, say, for example, in your category is around about 15%. And you see it going up to 40%, right? But still the physical stores are more important for you. So on that, Mukesh, if I can ask you a question, that how does it relate to the store sizes? So when we are saying that yes, the digitization has gone up, people have started shopping on the e-commerce platform or their digital platforms, do we still need the same size of the stores? Are you still deciding, or have you seen an impact? They're going down, they're going up. What's your view related to that?
First, you need to look at the revenues for the stores. As Rajesh rightly said, what has happened in pandemic in 2 years, people didn't come to the physical store because they could not come, not that they didn't want to come. There was a restriction, they couldn't come to the store. But if you look at it, sales, what started happening after maybe few months, not I'm talking the first lockdown, post second lockdown, the bounce back is very, very strong. So people wanted to come to the store. So if you look at the store inventory or the size, it all depends what is the inventory you carry in your store. So today, if you look at the physical store in any of the mall shops, now there are 3 channels. One is that people come to the store, they buy from there. Number 2 is click and collect. And number 3 is catalog sale also. The in terms of inventory is not gone down, in fact, it's gone up. So today is a mixed bag. So a lot of stores, they're increasing the size rather than reducing it. So if you have flexibility, you can increase the size. They're looking at from taking 1,000 square feet to maybe 1,500, some have also gone to 2,000 square feet. Some stores, if you look at some category, they have reduced. If you look at electronics category, they want to downsize the store from, let's say if they are 10,000, they may be very happy with 5 or 6,000. Footwear I have seen not active, the formal footwear I have seen, they're asking to reduce the size. If you look at the hypermarket, they are thinking, how do you reduce? The largest stores what you have, they are looking at reducing the size. But if you're looking at the vanilla stores, fashion category, they are looking at increase the size because the inventory is not really gone down and there's enough demand in the market. So people are coming back to these stores. So if you do not have the merchandise, consumer may not come back to you at all. Today, consumer wants everything on the spot. If he doesn't have a size, he wants it, you lose that customer. So you need to carry that inventory. So in terms of size is concerned, people are looking at increasing the size, not reducing the size.
Thanks, Mukesh. So I think what I understand is from Rajesh, you and Mukesh is both of them are important, and actually physical stores will grow on that. So Shibu, from a mall perspective, so it's coming out very clear that both of the omni-channel positions are important. As a mall developer, what are developers doing to drive both of them together in the mall? Any inputs or categorizations or what initiatives developers are taking regarding?
As Mukesh and Rajesh rightly said that store sizes are actually made larger by the retailers post-COVID because of the fact that they want to actually make it an experience center for a larger audience which is available both online and offline. Obviously, the discussion retailers are now actively doing because the contribution of omni-channel business is increased. They're actively doing is the type of revenue share they want to give out to the mall developers, and that's a very crucial discussion which we have seen happening very actively for the last 2 years because there is a larger contribution happening in that from there, and it's more predominant for categories where the pick can be easily done like beauty or like not more for premium fashion but more for bags and all. It's predominant. We also are aiding the whole experience for food retailers because now aggregators do really add a lot of business for them. So as mall developers, we ensure that we ease the whole experience for aggregators to come park and then move up and down easily so that that contribution is always maintained throughout. So as mall developers, we are conscious about that. Till yesterday, we were not making planning for that, but now today, mall developers are conscious about that. Also, what is happening is now mall developers themselves are thinking of making a platform available for customers, and obviously it's in the very nascent stage. But it's a thought process which is now evolving in various companies of mall shopping center developments, where we can create a platform where the retailers can be there with their merchandise in the stores, and customers also can do that. So that's a thought process which is started. So I'm sure that it is to ease the customer's experience, whether to know in the store what is available. Obviously, they know through the retailer's platform what is available, but is it really available in the store here? That's a process we want. And especially for a company where our malls are located in the tier 2 or tier 3 cities, where these retailers most of the retailers have single stores in that whole. So it's very crucial for the customers who drive down for 2 or 3 hours and to shop in that shop. It's very important for them to know whether it's available. So we try to give that convenience back to the customer to know. So there's a lot of thought process now to ensure that both really coexist. But yes, lot of offline brands are nowadays asking for space from us, and that's also a very novel part in the new leasing thing, that till yesterday, they were predominant online retailers, but they are all coming offline. So things will, what we are trying to tell you is that the experience is a very key element, and that is understood by the offline retailers, online retailers. That's the reason they are coming in offline, and they're doing big stores. They're doing big stores.
Thanks, Shibu. I think you mentioned great thing about the tier 2, tier 3 cities, how the shopping is evolving. So, Dhruv, if I may ask, what is the, when you see the online shopping pattern, how's the categorization in terms of the tier 1 cities, tier 2 cities? Do you see more coming in from tier 2 or it's equal? And how do you see that growing forward?
See, both online shopping and offline shopping are in plentiful amount of businesses coming from almost all tiers. Definitely from a rate of growth point of view, tier 2, tier 3 are growing the fastest today. Obviously fueled by interest in the availability of products online. In our case, we are present over 30 cities. And very recently, we expanded offline into even towns like Rohtak and Hisar, where we are available with a department store. Now, the interesting part here is that we are in talks with that partner to fuse their operations with our omni capability. So then we are not only moving from omni capability being available across our stores, but even moving to a department store. So there's a project going on there. So once we do that, I think online shopping from tier 1, tier 2, and then tier 1, 2, 3 customers, when a particular department store opens in their area, they'll be able to experience the product offline and online that they've experienced earlier. So both are going in tandem today, and the department stores are seeing a lot of value in that.
Okay, no, thanks. So do you see that the portion from the tier 2 cities will go up for the online place, right?
See, online is definitely a very powerful medium, and like Rajesh mentioned, most global brands are looking at getting to 40 to 50% coming from online business in the next 3 to 4 years. But it doesn't mean that it will take away business from offline. Offline will continue to grow at a particular rate that it is growing at and grow even more. In our case, I'll give you an example. We have a loyalty program with over 200,000 members. And until very recently, because a lot of technical integration issues, we were unable to get the members on board our e-commerce platform, our own platform. And we were able to do that quite successfully about a month ago. And immediately what we have seen is consumers who have been shopping with us in some of our best stores for the last 10, 12 years have now started shopping online as well. And we are fueling that by giving bounce back offers from one channel to the other, allowing them to cross-populate, cross-shop as they please. And what has kind of resulted is one of the best performances we've had as a company in the last 10 years. We are growing at 70, 80% today. Online is growing 200% over 2019. Retail is growing by 70, 80%. And astonishingly, online is no longer a discount channel for us. More than 65% of our business is full price. So definitely what we see in our category, in our segment of consumers or super premium, rich to luxury, is that they want a product. And if we can get the product to them by opening up the inventory in our stores, department stores, across cities, across small towns, it's a big win for everybody.
Good. Thanks.
Can I add something here?
Yeah, sure.
What has happened in the past 3, 4 years, maybe longer than 3, 4 years, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, even tier 5 cities, now they have got access to a lot of brands which they didn't know at all earlier. There's an aspiring customer, he wants to buy a brand, but he couldn't get it earlier. But with this online coming in, they're able to buy this online. Now they also want to see a physical store there. This is also good news for all the brands because they can open store in smaller cities now, which was never there earlier because there are no customers. Today you've got huge, whole lot of customers, they want to buy those brands. Now you can provide to them in their own city, they'll be more than happy. So physical store also will come in numbers in all the cities.
No, I think that's a relevant input. Physical stores, as we all discuss, is all about experience. And Mahesh, if I come to you from a mall perspective again, the way we are moving, it's coming very clear that physical stores are more about experience. The malls are now more about experience. It was always so, but I think we all have started realizing that it's about the experience when you enter a mall, when you enter a place to shop. What are mall owners and developers thinking to accelerate that experience or to stay more relevant in that area? Maybe it's like change in categorization of FEC or FNB. You know, is it more of FNB, FEC happening, or anything else which you think is happening, and anything else you want to add from there?
Sure. Good afternoon. So we run a specialty mall for home retail, and no other category has been more powerful than home during the entire pandemic. And as I heard in the morning, we discovered corners of the home which we didn't realize we had, right? So during the entire lockdown period, one of the things that we worked on was to reach out to the customer and give the experience that happens physically online. So we, within 55 days or so, we cranked up an entire online website with all our 100 plus national and international brands, and actually did the 360-degree shoots of all the stores, had assisted calling, had customers take online appointments, walk through the stores, and actually did quite a bit of business during that period. Another thing that we did was to also take the mall on wheels to the customer places. And so we actually created something called Creativity on Wheels. We fondly call it the cow. So it was a completely air-conditioned vehicle with a complete living room setup, with technology inside. It had e-commerce in it. And we took stuff such as furnishings, bed covers, bed linen, bath linen. Those people could not probably buy the big pieces of furniture during that period. We took the small items to the doorstep of the customer. So literally a mall on wheels in that sense. There again, we brought the physical experience to the customer's doorstep. So ultimately, it's about integrating the advantages of physical commerce along with that of e-commerce. Having said that, I have one point to make. I think omni-channel is being used as a term where its multiple channels exist, right? So the limited knowledge that I have is that omni-channel is all about integrating the channels, right? So, and integrating the channels across product, price, promotion, inventory, order fulfillment, and customer service. One stat which I came across was that India ranked somewhere around 19 out of 23 countries on the global omni-channel retail index. And that was done by one of the big four guys. And not that the top countries are way up there, they are scoring 50 on 100 or whatever. The point is that omni-channel retail by itself is nascent globally, and in India it's still pretty nascent. So we have a lot of stuff to do in terms of trying to integrate the channels, align all the channels, all the touch points. It's just not about online versus offline anymore. One of my retailer friends in the home retail segment, I'm not naming him now, he said the customer is the same. He doesn't bother about channels. He is interested in a product that's available to him at his convenience, with the comfort that he desires, at the price that he wants. And if you're able to offer that, then that is value, right? Typically, we have seen that that experience is what needs to be given by every single retailer. As mall developers, our job is to integrate what each of the retailers wants to do, unify it as an experience, and then present it to the customer so that the customer gets one view of what he wants, and we as malls and retailers get one view of the customer. So if you get a unified view of the customer and the customer gets a unified view of us, then I think the experience is well managed. So that's what I would like to say.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I think, Mahesh, I think I would add here is what you are saying is very, very correct. And what Tim Cook has always said, that, you know, the customers, they don't know what they want until you give the product or you give the experience in their hand. So we all as a customer, as a retailer, as a developers are exploring that, right? So
And very true, the physical stores have to work primarily on the touch and feel. I think that's the single biggest advantage that physical stores have, and the salespeople inside. So I had done a bit of research, and that said that these two elements, the physical store, the atmosphere that the technology-enriched physical store, and the salesperson inside, contribute more to conversion, more than even the online research. So it's all about using the benefits of physical retail to the max and get the people trained, get the store done up the way it has to be done, not only in terms of look and feel, but to give that touch and feel as well. And the latest I heard is that a couple of years down the line, we're also going to get the touch and feel virtually. If that happens, we'll have to be ready for that as well as physical retailers. So, a lot of ground to cover.
Lot of ground. I think we have spoken a lot about technology, and Tim Cook has also come here now. So Akhil, if I slightly different, but very important point, I think we all need to ask you is that how do you think this technology is happening from a retailer point of view? Considering data privacy, considering the complexities and the ever-evolving technologies, do you develop, or as a concept, you want to develop all these apps, platforms in-house, you want to outsource it? We have a lot of startups also these days. What's the preferred mode and how is it going? Because this thing never comes in front. What you always see is the interface. What lot of things are happening at the background. So maybe for everyone, you want to talk about it.
Thanks, Vibhor. It's a very, very valid question. And for, as we were discussing during this in the speakers lounge also, so a lot of companies like ours, the size of ours, we always aspire to have our own platforms because of certain customization, certain privacy challenges. But eventually what happens, being the sort of retailer we are, fast fashion, and once you start diverting towards technology, you lose track after some time. So essentially what's happening now is companies like us are actually getting into third-party solutions and then building a lot of products over the third-party solution that, make you unique than the rest of the people, sufficing your own requirements. For example, we have got a lot of aggregator model and which was having about 2 warehouses, and because of this omni-channel thing happening, so we started getting into dark store concept. So in that concept, what we're trying to do is the new stores that we're designing or that we are remodeling, so the storeroom backstore sizes have gone smaller because a lot of fulfillment will be happening through dark stores in future because of the omni-channel thing, especially in something like fast fashion as what we are doing. So as of today, in our stores, for example, if whatever premium products we were doing, and we used to send about 4 sets, and with the understanding that a lot of things might not sell off the rack over there. So now these sets have reduced to 2, and the other a common pool has been created in dark stores, so that anybody and everyone can get access to that inventory. So ultimate aim for a retailer like us, or probably for everyone, is getting your maximum inventory exposed across channels, so that anyone who requires that inventory, maybe B2B, B2C, should have access to it, and it should be sold off the rack.
So it's actually complex, right? So, which is happening in the background.
Yeah,
right? So Rajesh, on this point, now we understand that yes, or if I just take a step back, people who were averse to technology, like they said that मुझे समझ नहीं आती है technology, and mobile phone also is still that the number mobile phone they prefer. Now they all also have to use technology. Then everyone is open to it. So how do you bring that technology in the store to improve that experience? Any 1 or 2 things you feel or you have implemented in your stores which is digital but delivering more physical, better experience, like what Mahesh said. Tomorrow maybe we have to digitally touch the product.
Sure, Vibhor. Before that, pardon me for this, but in the previous question you used a word which is almost alien to us now. You use the word privacy. I think about 10 years ago we used to take pride in having some privacy, but I don't think there is any privacy anymore in anybody's life, thanks to technology there. Now, to answer your question, Vibhor, whether we like it or no, technology is an integral and essential part of all our lives, including retailers. As retailers, our core competency lies in retail, in providing a great product at the right price, at the right place, and to the right set of people, our right TG. But technology, because it becomes an integral part of it, we have to enable all these retail activities to bring that customer delight. And for that, what we are doing is, and I think most of the retailers are also doing, and malls are doing their own bit there, the supply chain and the point of sale, they are so well integrated now with the help of technology that the customer doesn't find any uh, want for experience. As Mahesh also rightly said, that omni-channel actually means a unified experience across all channels. That's another point that most of the retailers have already started working on. It has already, the infrastructure has already been built in. We are presenting it to the customer because customer also wants one brand, one voice. So they also need to understand that your same product at the same price of the same quality, etc., is available across all channels, and I want to get it from wherever I want. So this is another thing that most of the retailers, including us, have built into the system itself. CRM is one activity, though it is currently limited to loyalty programs in most of the cases, but that's also an integrated loyalty program. So it's not a channel-dependent loyalty program that you have an offline program separately or an online program separately. It's all integrated. Wherever you buy, you will get your points, you can earn them, you can burn them anywhere. One extremely good thing that I would personally say has happened because of technology is in the field of marketing. Earlier, most of us, we used to advertise in a newspaper or a glossy magazine, etc., and we used to keep wondering that maybe someday my target audience would look at that ad and they would like it and they would start coming to our stores. However, now most retailers, including us obviously, and I know for sure that we keep talking about with the other retailers also, most of them shifted most of the marketing budgets for online. At least 90% and above budgets are spent on online marketing because we can do a targeted marketing. We can reach out to exactly which my customer profile is, including the geography, the age group, the kind of products they consume, the kind of products they like. All these things can be targeted, and I think this is a beautiful advantage that technology has given us, and all of us have implemented that, apart from that online, etc., which is actually, it's a part of life now. Nobody talks about online and offline anymore. I mean, I think that part has been left far behind a few years ago. So because of the technology is an integral part of the retail now.
Yeah, I think true that, and that's what is going to accelerate more going forward. Mukesh, in between this physical and online, there is one very important aspect is logistics, right? Which is playing a very important role, as as I said, that technology at the back end is playing a big role. What's your view regarding the logistics, especially with respect to the retail, what's happening? And one of the policies which is being under discussion, the national retail policy, which is still at a draft stage by the government, and it's more related to the e-commerce and how to bring all the retailers in India together. What's your view regarding the e-commerce growing along with this retail and this policy, which is in a draft stage? And any suggestions which you have for the government which should be included in this?
Now, if you're talking about this e-commerce, the growth of e-commerce because of logistics only. Today, I mean, you can ship a product from one city to another city in less than 24 hours. I mean, you have things like 10 minutes delivery. If you look at Swiggy, Instamart, Zomato starting also, I think that's really improved quite a bit. Mobility has become so fast today that, today if you want to send something, you say, I want this to be reached somewhere else, even the food. You can send your home-cooked food to somebody's house in less than an hour's time. That's really improved. Coming back to national retail policy, we have been insisting having a single window clearance. There was a draft policy that has been made. I think one of the states has implemented it, Telangana, and a lot of other states have been working on it. Our focus has been basically to have uniform policy. It's very easier said than done because it's a state subject. But we have been trying to tell the government that it must be uniform policy as far as basic things are concerned, whether you talk about property tax or signages or the parking or ease of doing business, getting licenses, taxes, and tax, of course, definitely is improved now. We get only one GST. So we have been trying to focus on all with labor laws. If you can have uniform policy across the board, because most of the people, the retail guy sitting in Delhi or Bombay is the same person. Mall developer sitting in one city, another city is the same person. So they want to have a uniform policy. So that's been our focus. We're trying to tell the government, let's start working on this. I just hope we see light of the day very soon.
Thank you, Mukesh. I have few more questions, but the time's is up now. We had a big panel, but I think we explored really good thoughts around how, and as a summary, if I want to say a couple of points is both physical and the digital retail are here to stay. I think that's what came out from the whole panel. They complement each other. They're not threat to physical or digital. Uh, Second
Just
thing,
one add line, I want to add one line here. What this is done online, the customer's wallet size has gone up today. Earlier they're selling 100 rupees, they said they're spending 110 rupees, which is a good sign for all the retailers and all the brands.
absolutely. And I think the second is that the experience can never be bought online. So again, both the physical spaces and the online spaces, they have to work together to make sure that that gets accelerated. And COVID has not disrupted, and as Mukesh said and Rajesh said, everyone said that the store sizes are not going down, they may go up, maybe some categories may get affected. So COVID has not disrupted the system, it has accelerated the adoption of the whole digital experience. And retail is here to stay and grow. That's it. Anyone else wants to add?
Just one thing. See, all these post-lunch sessions are always boring. So just want to understand whether we've been able to keep you awake or most of you were all asleep. So if there is any question from the audience, that will give us a lot of assurance that great. Thank you, Dia. Please.
It was an after lunch session, so it's okay. But yes, good we have someone. The last question is there, sorry.
Hi, my name is Puneet. I represent Swirl Live Commerce. I've heard everyone talking about omni-channel, how you guys are looking at leveraging the experience of offline to online. I want to know, how do you plan to do that? Because that's something which I'm yet to discover, because there's no one talked about what is that one aspect which you would focus on to try and give this same experience. I guess the gentleman there standing, or rather sitting there, you just referred a while back that, probably we will end up giving a digital experience of someone really feeling it. And that's where live commerce comes into picture. Have you any idea of what this entire thing is about? Or would you want to put in some
You want
inputs?
to pick up, Mahesh?
Sure. Thanks for that question. So when I said you'll have to leverage the advantages of each channel onto the other. So a whole lot of stuff is happening by retailers and malls alike on augmented reality, virtual reality, and mixed reality. Plenty of stuff is happening. Of course, for the paucity of time, probably we can take it offline. I'll certainly share with you. But quite a bit of work is happening such that the physical, what happens as an experience in the physical store can be taken online, and the advantages of online in terms of convenience and comfort are taken to the offline channel as well. Ultimately, it's about touch points and how we align all of them. So I'm happy to talk to you outside.
Thank you. Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
I think another thing that's going to be happening, which brands will start looking at already, a lot of brands in the US and Europe are looking at the metaverse. So it's definitely, I know for a fact that a few brands in India are already looking at it, but it's still in a very nascent stage of exploration. But once it takes off, I think it will really transform the way people shop, where they can actually experience a store digitally and perhaps be able to pick things off the shelf and order it online. So a lot of possibilities are there, or even you'll have staff in the store will have a personality, or a real person will be in the metaverse communicating with the consumer sitting at home. So a lot of things are going to be happening. I think in the future is really exciting in this whole merger that is going to happen.
Thank you very much, Neil.
And also what is happening is the launch of 5G will be a game changer. A lot of these things will change in 5G, and as small developers and retailers, we need to be getting geared for that. And that time, metaverse will be something which will fuel. So I think 5G launch will be a game changer.
I guess that's another 2 years to go before metaverse actually make an impact in Indian market. In the meantime, live commerce definitely would make it, and I would be happy to probably take one-on-one with every one of you, because I see each one of you a prospect for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Thank you, everyone.